Y'all's thing is just being influential, just straight. I mean, speaking facts, speaking volumes, having the opinions that you have at your age, at your specific position in life. It's rare. It's very very raw, and I think that people respect that about you. I think a lot of people also disrespect that fact that you have the knowledge, you have the background, you have the goal, I think, to call out some of the behaviors that some of your family or some of your friends, followers, whatever, you call out that toxic, traumatic behavior. And I'm not going to say trigger, because I feel like this is how people are towards you all the time. Like, you always find a way to inflame or to affect people in some type of way. But I think most of all, people get passionate. People get upset at you because you tell nothing but the truth. And I think that that's upsetting to some folks. We have the chariot in the upright, which, in the Aries energy or the fire sign energy, a lot of the passion, a lot of the rawness does come from the heart. It doesn't come from the brain aspect or the logical aspect that most air signs will bring to the table. And you don't have to have a fire sign to be experiencing or having some of these passionate, furious debates with people, right? It's just a matter of perspective, right? You're able to put yourself into the perspective of others. You're able to create a very sound, reasonable life expression or experience. And I think that has taken some people back. And I think what's triggering about you is that even through really, really, really rough, hard life experience, you still find a way to twist that and make it a positive. And that is a trigger, okay? Ace of Swords in the upright. It's like you're still able to defend your position. You're still able to sit up there or up here, up where you're at, and preach and say your piece. You're they talk about you being a very sensual being, so it may be a factor of like you are also very physically attractive or physically fit, or there's something physically grounding about you. Like, you have all the aspect of somebody who is, like I said, stable, physically stable as well. We have this right here, which is you could be hiding some sort of a disability or hiding some sort of something that you maybe view as like a drawback. And I think maybe your family knows about it, or your family is offended by that. Your family might be offended by the fact that you put on a mask, or your family might be offended that they can't get to you in the way that they want to get to you, or they can't get to know you the way that everybody else knows you. It's like when you talk to people, they see greatness, but when you talk to this family aspect, it's like they see the trauma, or they are affected by the trauma that they have with you. The background that they have with you is just not the same. This is interesting too, because like this shows like that people like to team up on you. It's like you don't really give a fuck. Like, in fact, I feel like you tell people to shut the fuck up. I feel like you tell people like about themselves a lot of the time. So it's nothing to you. You will finish somebody, or like you will finish and squash whatever needs to be squashed in order to move on with your life. And I think that offends people. I think that people like need you. It's almost like you're a balance to the evil. Or you're like a balance to whatever fucking toxic ass mindsets that these people have. Like, you're very much a necessary evil for debate, a necessary evil for contact. I feel like this person, they contact you, but only because it's to get triggered or offended by you. Like, your whole entire place in their life is a trigger. And so I think that this creates some sort of a codependent relationship, because at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with love or respect. I see Gemini here. I see air signs here. It's nothing about that. Okay. It's not about what relationship they have with you, whether it's a family member, it could you, your brother, your mother, your sister. It could be your auntie. It could be someone who's extended. It don't matter what position they hold in your life. Just know that they don't support you and they don't love you. This is not real love, true love. This is nothing of the sort. In my eyes, I see this as someone they're playing a part for sure, but they're playing the part of evil. of darkness, of somebody who has very dark thoughts, of who creates a very dark energy and creates a very dark life experience, especially for you. I don't think that they've played their position well. I think they're in a daze. I think they're in a tizzy. I think they're sick in the head. I do think that they inflict almost like abusive behaviors, abusive nature onto you, even though it had nothing to do with you. Like, we had this card right here, which is like a family. Okay, you know, what is a family to you? A family is a mother, a father, a child, and a dog, and a cat, and a picket fence, and a house. Like, that's what a family is supposed to be, right? No, wrong. And I feel like you have proven that, even through your life experience, you have proven that that's not how a family will be or should be. They talk about maternal energy with you, so likely I'm talking to a group of females, or someone who was raised by a lot of females, raised by a lot of femininity and maternal energy. That maternal energy has brought you a lot of emotional grounding. So basically, it's like, you know how everybody always trying to be talking about like, oh, well, you know, females are so emotional. That's why they got to stay home. That's why they got to do this and take care of the child and do this. They have more maternal energy. That's not, first of all, you know, just on a human to human basis, we know that's not true. We know men are the ones that get angry and start doing some wild shit, like show up to someone's house with a weapon and shit like that and start, you know, starting fights or physically putting their hands on someone. We know that the women are actually the stable ones, or maternal energies are usually the more stable ones in the situation, right? What I see is whoever your maternal energy is, or whoever your female that you look up to is absolutely with you 1,000%, 100%. Does look like this person, no matter what is on your side. If you have a feeling, or you get this feeling that like, oh, there's nobody there for me, I do feel like this maternal energy is there for you, absolutely 1,000%. They talk about 444, which is seasonal growth. It's growth that's coming in really fucked up way, though, a really twisted way. It's kind of like twisting a knife. It's not pretty, it's not cute, but it is something that will leave scars, but it will most definitely change who you are as a person in a good way. In a good way. They talk about getting rid of the toxic waste. In order to do that, you kind of have to continue to pull back, basically. Continue to draw yourself away from connections that bring your blood pressure up. Because I pick up on like hot, or very, very like sweaty hot, like getting very, very upset. Or maybe like you're not responding, but you feel upset and you feel like you should respond, but it's like it's not worth it, and you know that it's not worth it. And maybe you have to keep telling yourself that, oh, it's really not worth it. It's just not worth it to talk to this person. It's not worth it to do this, to do that. And you're right, it's not worth it, right? Because whatever memories this person is bringing up for you, whatever PTSD or triggers that person is bringing up for you, it's not worth it. It really isn't. Like I said, whatever this gripe is with this human being has nothing to do with you. This is their own personal trigger. You're their personal demon type shit. It's got nothing to do with you. I think they got their head on a swivel almost. It's like every time they see you on the come up, every time they see you doing something different, I feel like they do like a little bit of gang stalking type energy. So this might be a thing of like, they show up on your social media, they email you, they text you any way that they could get to you or in order to talk to you. Is a stalk situation. This is not like normal, like, okay, say you cut off conversation and you end up blocking a person. It's like, this is the person that makes like the 10 accounts to try to abuse their power over you, or abuse like the internet, abuse, having 21 accounts, and then like every single one is messaging you different things about yourself, or trying to get to know you in some type of way, trying to creep in on you. And that's this type of person. Okay, this is the type of demons that we create with success. Even if it is someone close to you, like I say, even if it is a family member, this is the type of demons you create with success. If that makes sense. It's like, okay, we can we can manifest, and we can try to create the perfect situation for ourselves. Now, for example, what I got in my head kind of was like the genie from Aladdin, where he gives Aladdin like 3 different wishes, right? And those are, to me, that's manifestation, right? It's like, okay, you know, he got the genie, that motherfucker offered him 3 different things, and then there's certain stipulations to every single wish that that Aladdin has. Every single wish that he has, he cannot force somebody to feel something. He cannot do this. He cannot do that. He can wish for all the riches in the world, but he can't change fate, right? He can't change certain aspects of people that just will never change regardless, right? So it's like, you can't change fate, you can't change other people's emotions, you can only influence using your money and your power, right? And in that movie, it's kind of like a ticking time bomb, because essentially Aladdin in the end gets everything stripped away from him, but his woman still loves him. Jasmine still loves his motherfucking ass. And it's weird that I'm bringing up Disney, because lately I've been like, what is with these fucking movies? Like, I feel like the depiction that they have of like some of the princesses, or the depiction that they have, like I watched Princess of the Frog more recently. Some of the depictions are just off to me. It's like they always frame it in a light of the woman needs to be rescued by a man, or the female needs to be somehow like controlled by a man, or man in power. It's like they almost like are trying to brainwash people into thinking that's how relationships need to be or should be, or brainwashing mostly children, right? Literal kids, right? That's the relationship that everybody wants now, right? It's like that relationship where they can rely, lay their head on their man or their woman, whoever the fuck, lay their head on them and rely on them completely and wholeheartedly and codependently. But back to the 3 wishes, manifestation is crazy, right? Because sometimes things happen. I'm going to say things happen in line with your subconscious, but definitely things happen for a reason, right? People are triggered by certain things for a reason. People reject you for a reason. You know, I don't want to say everything just has a great, like it's for the greater good, it's for the greater conscious, it's for the greater minds, it's supposed to, you know, bring you peace later in life. Not everything is like that. Like, for example, neglect and abuse, there's no excuse for that. In my mind, you know, some people can get stronger through that, but others, they can't. You know, they can't get past it. They live their whole entire life in that. And I think that that's someone you're dealing with in certain aspects. It's like they live their whole life in that trauma. They can't escape that trauma. They can't move on from that trauma. They can't get into another relationship. They can't have children. They can't experience new love, new life. They refuse to pull their head out of their ass, basically. They sit in suffering because that's what suits them best. They love suffering. They embrace suffering. That's the only thing that they embrace, right? So with manifestation, it is a tool that most spiritual people, and even people who are not so spiritual, people who just really will things into existence, like really push for certain things. They'll do anything and everything, no matter how many failures that it takes, no matter how many no's that they get, they keep going and keep going and keep going. Repetition, right? It's just constantly pounding that in. That type of manifestation where you're able to ask for whatever you want, you got to know that there's stipulation. You got to know that there's rules, you know. And like, though we don't truly understand them, like people are always trying to say karma and stuff like that, which I do believe in forms of karma, absolutely and entirely. I've seen it happen. I've seen people be punished, and that to me is proof enough, because there's people who in certain aspects go unpunished but are mentally and emotionally punished, and we just don't understand that. I think a lot of people view punishment as a thing that's physical, like you need to see someone get physically punished, you need to see somebody behind bars, you need to see this, you need to see that, and sometimes that's what we need, you know. That's the type of justice that we need. But then there's other people who need, they have a more spiritual look at this suffering, right? They have a more spiritual, like, it feels like bird's eye view, where you're kind of able to see that this person is already in suffering, hence the horrible things that they do, hence the horrible atrocities that they've caused, right? They're already in suffering. Life on earth for them is suffering, you know, but it's not suffering for you, right? The biggest difference between you and this person, I feel like there's a lot of compare contrast, is that your life is not suffering. right? And that's not how you're going to take your life. You are not going to take your life on a joyride. You will take your life seriously, and this person will not take their life seriously, right? There's a lot of like, okay, well, you know, how did you get everything that you have? Like, I feel like this person keeps asking that. How did you do this? How did you do that? How did you become this person that's like this and like that? And it's like, because I love my life. Even in times where I've hated myself, I still love my life. Right? I still love myself. I still value myself in my body, in my mental, in my physical, in my artistry, and like everything that I'm good. I still value that. I still love that about myself, and I'll never change that. You know what I mean? I'll never let someone else dictate and shape who I am like you have, right? That's the type of shit that I feel like you're talking to someone about, or like, I won't let my trauma define me type energy. I feel like you've always said this to people, though. They've just never truly listened to that. And because of that, you've also left a lot of people behind, right? When you don't feel safe with somebody, I see you immediately reject them. I see like the rejection aspect. It's like, it might take you a while to notice when someone's doing something weird behind the scenes, but at the same time, you do start rejecting them, even if it's just something that you kind of do subconsciously. Like, you don't really realize you're doing it. You reject them. So you might distance yourself from them. You might kind of automatically block them out. You might not respond to them or respond to their phone calls, or you might like intentionally miss their phone calls, is what I pick up on. Like, you refuse to answer them. The devil in the upright. Yeah, so you know something sneaky and something fucked up is going on, and you don't feel comfortable with this person's energy whatsoever. I feel like, yeah, this person watches you from a bird's eye view. They keep talking about how they watch you through spirituality, through tarot, through everything. It doesn't matter that you are rejecting this person's energy. They try to break in and to get into contact with you regardless. They're still stuck on y'all's relationship, when at the end of the day, I feel like it's more than that. Like, I feel like your relationship with them has nothing to do with it. You know, like, I feel like they have nothing to do with your life at this point. So why are they still trying to break in or break even? You know what I mean? I feel like that's how this shit is going. It's like, okay, you're better now. You're greater now. You've grown now. So why are they still trying to break in? And I feel like maybe there doesn't need to be a why, right? There doesn't need to be a why. I just think obsession. I think people being jealous. I think people missing on you, wanting to touch on you again, wanting to feel your energy and feel your experience, like wanting to be a part of your destiny, a part of your fate, a part of, you know, they want to be by your side when you embrace your success, find your success. They want to be that person. It's almost like this person views themselves as like the teacher, or the motivator, like for all the things that you've done for yourself, but they're actually the opposite. You know, they're a trigger to a lot of your issues and a lot of your problems that slowed you down, that made you, you know, that made you realize that that's not the type of relationship that you want with someone, that's not the type of situation that you could ever embrace and feel loved by. It's the type of relationship that has made you, what do they call it? Refrain from romantic relationships, or refrain from relationships with people, be scared of people, not want to be around people. This is that person. All right. So if you're wondering like, oh, which one is this? Which one is this? This is like, you know, to me, this feel like more like family than anything. But you could have created a family with this person as well. And it's like, here's the thing. And you could also be the product of this, like the child of this situation. And they're letting you know that this is the way it's always going to be with your people. This is the way. Okay. And the only way to get free of that, the only way to truly embrace yourself is to stop communicating, stop responding, give it the most distance that you ever given to anything in your whole entire life. Don't let ego get a hold of you. Stop entrapping yourself in ego, because what ego does is further bring up PTSD, further bring up trauma, continue to shape and mix up your actual wants versus your needs, right? You might want to respond, but you need to not respond. You might want to get justice over this person, but you can't. You need to move on, right? You need to move on. There's no justice here. Not that you can see with your eyes right now, right? No, not physically. There's no physical justice right here. Okay, and you know that. So just stop looking. Stop looking for that justice. Stop looking and watching over that person in some type of way and trying to gain or see what punishment this person is going to gain. Because karma, it's not that simple. Karma affects you too, right? The reason why you're still dealing with this person or still thinking about them, or they're still trying to weasel in, is because karma's just fucked up like that. You know, karma fucks you up too. Karma is a double-edged sword. It's not something that one person faces just because one person has been through something, right? It's not like that, okay? Karma is something everyone faces, right? Our situation is our karma. Regardless of what you think, what you may believe, you know, whether you believe in spirituality or believe in karma, whether you believe in whatever religion, you gotta know that this shit is real. It's raw. And there ain't nothing like a good old beatdown type shit. Like, that's what spirit will bring you through. They will drag you through mud, through glass, through hot coals, through the entire bits in order for you to understand. And if you still don't listen after that payment, after that punishment, after all of the things that have happened to you, if you still refuse to listen to reason, the worst of all is karma leaves you alone. Spirit leaves you alone. And there's no one to talk to. Like, there's no one to reach out to. Spirit will just leave you high and dry. Like, you thought you had nobody in life, or you thought you had nobody physically, no family, no nothing. But when spirit leaves you, when your intuition leaves you, when your manifestation leaves you, that's the worst feeling in the world. Because you know they have turned their back. And I don't say God has turned his back. I'm going to say everyone turns their back on a person like that. Okay? So that's what's up. That's what's up. Continue on, y'all. Continue on.